tried it out with my brother. He's gonna beer in his hand and whiskey. Go ahead, let's go. I'm like, all right. So my they pass the muster. But is your brother Peter should. I told I got here. And he was gonna contact, and he's a Democrat. We have to, we have no problem there. He's probably simply, or just Republican. He likes being a Democrat. But oh man, he'd be perfect. He's a teacher. Really?
Good morning, class of 2017. Will the senior members of the choir please take their places? Everyone please remain standing for the posting of the colors by New Fairfield High School's 801st Cadet Squadron of the Civil Air Patrol. You may be seated. If you will all please join me in welcoming Senior Class President Tommy Callahan to share welcoming remarks.
Oh, excellent. It's already open. Perfect. Okay. Good morning, members of the Board of Education, distinguished guests, administrators, family and friends, staff, and most importantly, my fellow graduates of the class of 2017. It is my pleasure to be able to welcome everybody to the graduation of New Fairfield High School's class of 2017. For those of you who did not read the program, my name is Tommy Callahan, and I've been president of the senior class for the last 3 years. While I did consider not graduating today and going back for one more year to make it a full 4-year term, I ultimately decided that it looked better on a resume to graduate today. So I believe that this graduating class has done an admirable job of upholding the tradition of excellence that is New Fairfield High School. As much as we all love to complain about the school's rigid architecture and bell schedule, or the uphill slog from the junior lot early in the morning in the wind and cold, at the end of the day, New Fairfield has done a lot of things for us. And I believe that as a group, the class of 2017 is well prepared for what lies ahead. Whether it be a college education, a career of military service, or a direct move into the workforce, I know that we can all do right by the legacy of our school and our town, so long as we keep our goals in sight. In closing, I'd like to take a moment to thank those who have done so much to ensure our success up to this point. Our school's caring faculty and staff who work hard year after year to prepare students for the future. Our parents, families, and friends who provide for us a support network which nurtures greatness, and the members of the community who attend our functions, from fundraisers to sporting events to theater. So I would like to again welcome and thank every one of you who have come out today to support us on our graduation day. And to my classmates, congratulations guys, we made it.
Good morning. It is an honor and a privilege to introduce to you the class of 2017 Salutatorian. In his tenure at New Fairfield High School, Matthew Rossi has distinguished himself as a scholar, an artist, and a gentleman. Matt has been a distinguished member of our Model UN for the past 4 years and served as president this past year. He was the vice president of our Tri-M Music Honor Society, the editor-in-chief of the Rebel Journal, the historian for the Peace Project organization, and has earned all-state honors in orchestra for the past 2 years. Impressive. In addition to his impressive resume of extracurricular activities and distinguished scholastic accomplishments in academia, Matt is also an incredibly accomplished artist. As a supervisor for the Fine Arts Department, I have had the privilege of seeing Matt's work, and I can tell you firsthand, it is no less notable. Attending Harvard in the fall and majoring in government, I have no doubt that he will be no less accomplished in all his future endeavors. A remarkable young man, he is most deserving of this honor. Again, it is my pleasure to introduce your class of 2017 Salutatorian, Matthew Rossi.
To the administration, Board of Education, faculty, staff, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2017, thank you and good morning. It is an honor to be speaking before you today as we mark the conclusion of our high school educations. Over the course of the next months, we will all be departing on divergent paths. In fact, it is very likely that this is the final time that this group of people will all sit in the same room. We will all end up in very different places. Some of us will go directly to work, others will proceed to college, and some will honorably serve our country in the U.S. Armed Forces. We will be the next generation of teachers, doctors, lawyers, researchers, entertainers, and public servants. Yet in each of these vocations, and in the countless others that I have not mentioned, one element of our high school experience will be key in our success and fulfillment. That value is the value of community. In many ways, it seems like a very different force has shaped our high school experience: competition. From the time we were in middle school, or even in meeting house in the good old days when we still had recess, we were taught that we were always competing with the people sitting next to us and sitting in classrooms all over the world. We were told we were in competition for college admissions, for scholarships, and for jobs. And in this all-consuming race for academic success, we were measured by GPA, class rank, standardized test scores, and resume. Competition isn't always a bad thing. Colin Powell said that the healthiest competition occurs when average people win by putting above average effort. But when competition becomes the driving force of education, it can become easy to feel like we're in this alone. As we move on to very different paths, certain qualities will unite our experiences. We are entering a very different world, a world in which an understanding of diverse viewpoints is more important than our SAT scores, in which empathy and compassion are more important than GPA, and in which we need more people willing to put in hard work, not more people willing to take the credit. Luckily for us, we already know the value of community at New Fairfield High School. Together, we struggle to find the right balance between schoolwork, extracurriculars, our social lives, and for some of us, a lot of Netflix. We spent those terrifying minutes before AP tests huddled in the hallway outside the math office, trying to comprehend an entire year's worth of material in the last possible moments before unwrapping the dreaded exam booklet. We start off our final year of high school yelling and cheering, sporting red, white, and blue, and many of us had whistles and silly string, and ended it in the exact same way. Now, those experiences are over. We are on the verge of entering the real world, filled with boundless opportunities and new experiences. And while we all know we will end up in very divergent places, we can also rest assured that we will not be alone on the journey there. Thank you and congratulations to the class of 2017.
Thank you, Matt, and congratulations once again on the honor. It is my sincere honor to introduce the valedictorian for New Fairfield High School's class of 2017. This year's valedictorian is a driven, empathetic, and compassionate young woman with a deep intellectual curiosity. One who established an impeccable academic record of excellence throughout her 4 years. She is a Renaissance woman with an impressive depth and breadth of study, serving as an intern at Danbury Hospital while at the same time making contributions to our school through her role as co-vice president of her class and 2-year captain of the varsity cross-country team. Since meeting her last year, I have been continually impressed with how through the humility of her actions, she led by example, maintained the highest levels of integrity, and was wise beyond her years. As a learned individual who was named both a Governor's Scholar and a United States Presidential Scholar, she will be attending Georgetown University in the fall on the pre-med track, where she also plans to major in international politics. I, along with the entire school community, am confident that she will one day use her thoughtful intellect and strength of personal character to make a meaningful impact on our society. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming and congratulating New Fairfield High School's valedictorian for the class of 2017, Kristen Rikiki.
Good morning, Board of Education members, administrators, first selectmen, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, the graduates of the class of 2017. Each of us has a voice. In this day and age, when we are surrounded by many voices, some we agree with and some we don't, we are told to ignore the negative and embrace the positive. However, most of the time, the opinions of others cannot and should not be simply dismissed as positive or negative, good or bad, useful or useless. What we often fail to acknowledge is all that we can learn from listening to the different perspectives of others. Every person throughout the world, in this country, and even in this room, has walked their own path, fought personal battles, and retained unique wisdom. In the future, as we watch New Fairfield fade in our rearview mirrors, challenge yourself to listen to some of these different voices. Though you may not always agree with what the individual is saying, do not simply listen to be able to formulate your rebuttal. Listen to genuinely understand another person's perspective. Do not dismiss what the person has said before they even begin speaking because you have a personal bias towards their background or their politics. We as humans often become comfortable surrounding ourselves with people who share our beliefs. Moving forward, strive to challenge yourself by speaking with someone unlike yourself, someone from a town, state, or even country that you have never been to before. Those who are most different from ourselves are often the people we can learn most from. Above all, never doubt your ability to participate in a conversation, whether it is of a political, social, or personal nature. Each of us here today has the power and the responsibility to create and express a unique opinion of our own. Despite being members of the same New Fairfield community, our hobbies, interests, families, friends, jobs, and experiences all shape the one-of-a-kind way we see the world around us. It can be very easy to be a yes person, that friend that always agrees with the group for the sake of keeping the peace. Whether in friendships, business relationships, or any other interactions, use your voice. In the words of former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, quote, "It took me quite a long time to develop a voice, and now that I have it, I am not going to be silent." It is each of our responsibilities to not be silent on the issues that make us most passionate. If you do not communicate your own unique thoughts, no one will for you. Never be afraid of changing your mind, because change is truly the only route to growth. Change your mind hundreds of times, ask questions, explore different perspectives, become an active participant in the world around you, and along the way, perhaps your voice will inspire another to use theirs. Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you, Kristen. Will the senior members of the band please take their places for the instrumental selection led by Mr. Scott King? Good morning once again, members of the Board of Education, Dr. Roy, Dr. McKinnon, Mrs. Chapman, colleagues, family, friends, and most importantly, the distinguished class of 2017. Today is bittersweet for me, as this is a class that will truly hold a special place in my heart. While I've only known you for a year, your warmth of spirit, compassionate energy, and prideful ownership of your learning have left a lasting impact on our school and myself directly. You have made my first year as principal of this great high school a memorable one, and I thank you. While New Fairfield High School will always be your school, and we will always share a common bond as members of the Rebel community, it is also time for you to look towards the future of college and career. Enter a period of new and exciting transition and draw upon your strengths to build bridges as you grow and expand your network. The importance of building bridges with those throughout our local, national, and global communities has never been more critical. Given the complexities of society today, your ability to build bridges is necessary to develop consensus among groups representing diverse viewpoints. Varying perspectives and opinions are part of our society. By working to acknowledge and understand, you can appreciate differences and develop a strong, interconnected network. It is a key skill that future employers will seek and society will demand as different groups share and exchange information, deploy innovative ideas, and reach consensus among those representing different needs. Like constructing a road over a river, building bridges will not always be easy. It will be complex, it will be hard work, and it will take time. Don't let this deter you. Make a commitment to build bridges with each person you encounter. Gain better insight into somebody else's life. Understand their challenges and share yours. Exhibit empathy. Show compassion. Persevere and be determined to cultivate a shared understanding among ideas with your peers and colleagues. These investments, however difficult and however time-consuming, will help you to build and sustain relationships which will make your path forward smoother and more enriched. As a class and as individuals, as you head to the next chapter, you have the skills and dispositions to build bridges, not burn them. During your time at the high school, you developed strong bonds of friendship and community. You similarly built bridges through your actions of accepting and understanding others. I am confident that you will soon make connections far and wide that will not only elevate your lives, but will also enhance our communities to make them even stronger. I wish each of you the greatest of success for the future. Dr. Roy, members of the Board of Education, I am proud to present to you the New Fairfield High School class of 2017.
Thank you. Members of the New Fairfield Board of Education, Dr. McKinnon, Ms. Einhorn, Dr. Sanzo, and administrators, First Selectman Chapman, faculty, parents, friends of New Fairfield High School, and most especially the graduating class of 2017. At graduation, we try to pinpoint exactly what it will take to be successful and to share it with you. This truly is a daunting task. How can I share a message that will be short and have an impact? Legend has it that Ernest Hemingway told his life story in 6 words, although it does not seem that the 6-word story should be credited to Hemingway. Saying something important with very few words is the exact challenge I face today. The 6-word story that was attributed to Hemingway seems simple. For sale, baby shoes, never worn. If I were to ask you today to tell your life story, or to tell the life story you want in 10 or even 50 years in just 6 words, which would you choose? Sharp, new, yellow pencil, limitless potential. Or, lost my wallet, found my desires. Or, wind blows, sails fill, journey begins. I hope the 6 words you select bring you happiness and apply the education you received in the New Fairfield Public Schools. I have crafted these 6-word messages for you. Prosperity, education, family, friends, health, kindness. And dream big, love others, be true. I wish nothing but the very best to each of you. Thank you. And now, by the power vested in me by the state of Connecticut, I hereby attest to the New Fairfield Board of Education that these students have completed all graduation requirements set forth by the New Fairfield Public Schools, and that they are entitled to their diplomas with all rights and privileges hereto.
Thank you, Dr. Roy. Good morning, parents, students, faculty, and the class of 2017. I'm so proud and happy to be here today to represent the Board of Ed. I am also a graduate of New Fairfield Schools, so I know what you're thinking right now. Oh, great, the Board of Ed guy is going to make a speech. I'll be brief, though. You think back, 1988, things weren't that different. For example, we still had the cap and gown, all the pomp, the rows were in alphabetical order, but also things were a lot different. Back then, we were out on the football field. We didn't have one of those graduation parties. Mr. King was over here instead of over there, so things were a lot different then. I'm also really happy to come here today because you always think back to when you were a graduate. That's what everyone here is thinking right now. What were they thinking? I'm fortunate enough to be a product of so many great teachers here. All right, even though it was 1988, I myself am a teacher of 23 years. I've taken so much from what they've said and done. One of my favorite teachers was a teacher in 6th grade in 1981. I was 11 years old, and his name was Mr. Quinlan. I don't know if anyone out there still remembers him. Mr. Quinlan was the best. I used to run to get to his class. Every day seemed like something new was going to happen. One day, we were reading the story from Washington Irving, and it was Rip Van Winkle. You know the story. 20 years, Rip falls asleep, he wakes up, and 20 years later, everything's changed, but he's still the same. Well, he had us make a list of 10 things we would be doing 40 years from now. I gotta tell you this again, this is 1981, and I'm 11 years old. So some of these on the list are definitely from 1981. For example, hang out with the sweat hogs from Welcome Back, Kotter. Class of 2017 was a great show, okay? It was a really great show. Ask your parents. Or like number 3, tour with the rock band Def Leppard. Now, obviously, they don't need a really good air guitarist, I can tell you that. Number 6, be the Fonz, which could definitely still happen. My wife's up there going, no chance, none of that. One of them on there was to be a teacher. And there were also lots of things on here that I really hang my hat on, and I'm so proud of. One of them was own a McDonald's. I was a big eater then, so don't worry about that one. But things go on and on and on. One of the things that I think to myself is, why would a sixth grader who's 11 years old think like this? Where would it come up with all these things? A little town in New Fairfield, an 11-year-old. And two things come to mind to me. Number one, we live in the greatest country in the world. And number two, we have teachers who tell us you can be the best. And that's what I like to remember. That teachers told you that no matter what, if you stick to what you want to do, you can achieve it. What's your top 10 list, class of 2017? What do you want to do? Hang on to it, and when someone tells you you can't, double down. Hard work is always going to be the number one thing. But in the end, you will achieve it. Thank you so much for letting me come here today, and God bless the class of 2017. Thank you so much.
Will the members of the Board of Education, Dr. Roy, Dr. Sanzo, Mr. Chaplot, Mr. Rowetter, and Mrs. Stoley, please join us in the presentation of diplomas as we call the name of each graduate. The senior class requests that the audience holds its applause until the diplomas have all been awarded. Photographers are taking pictures of each graduate receiving his or her diploma. We kindly request that you remain in your seats and do not approach the stage so that we may have a clear path for all graduates to return to their seats. Will the first graduates please approach the stage? Kristen Alexandra Rakiki. Matthew Thomas Rossi. Thomas Robert Callahan. Colin Robert Monahan. Angela Rose Heights. Jolie Marie Giacona. Ronaldo Ramiro Allen. Haley Marie Altabelli. Noah Robert Elvidi. Taylor Mackenzie Allward. Leah Lauren Anderson. Azuma Huga Andos. Antonio Luis Ariola. Brandon Zachary Barr. Jack William Berry. Kyle Hunter Basso. Lauren Patricia Basso. Justin Richard Bedlin. Paige Nola Benzing. Taylor Nicole Bergstresser. Randall James Bogus Jr. Christian Philip Bolaka. Zachary Thomas Bontempo. Vanessa Marie Bouchard. Kyle Brennan. Fiona Isabel Brockner. Abigail Reed Brown. Andrew Farron Bruno. Emily Burkhart. James Albert Byers. Daniel Patrick Byrne. Bryce Vincent Cabral. Joseph Francis Calamari. Rachel Marie Camerano. Nicholas Stephen Cardinal. Caitlin Marie Carlucci. Isabel Marie Carney. Kyle Christopher Casamassa. Sophia Lucia Casanova. Amir Castellano. Jeffrey Thomas Caswell. Nicole Ashley Sanamo. Kara Alicia Sorbonne. Courtney Ann Chamero. Thomas George Ciardi. Michael Thomas Clark. Jacob Curry Clary. Emma Michelle Colesworthy. John Martin Cogden. Amanda Sue Connolly. Jake Robert Costanzo. Catherine Therese Coughlin. Julia Jordan Crane. Brian Joseph Craven. Frank Peter Cremonini. Justin Michael Siren. Michael Anthony De Silva. Adona Dowdy. Anthony Edward DeNicholas. John Dominic DeSantis. Mark Gaetano Dispenza. Johnny Jambalik. Thomas Russell Dobransky. Adriana Kathleen Duffy. John Joseph Engelhart. Robert Thomas Ettinger III. Jeremy Michael Evans. Michael William Farrell. Paul James Felling. Gianna Nicole Ficarata. Emma Elizabeth Finnerty. Gabriella Texera Fontes. Colin Keavney Ford. Carrie Ann Ford. Nice and easy. Luke Andrew Forsberg. Emily Elizabeth Franklin. Coral Joy Fuller. Dylan Patrick Gaffney. Sean Daniel Garrity. Daniel Thomas Joya. Emily Louise Glick. Kimberly Ann Godfrey. Lyndall Shay Gudeman. Liam Andrew Gowdy. Sydney K. Willow Govea. Robert William Graham. Jillian Nicole Guzda. Samantha Rose Hacklitz. Catherine Frances Handelmeyer. Olivia Ariel Hanish. Liam Thomas Hanley. Peyton Marie Harvey. James Joseph Hayden. Charles William Hewitt. Kelly Ann Horgan. Leanne Iantoro. Jessica Dawn Jean. Hannah Elizabeth Jellin. Sarah Elizabeth Kavanaugh. Dylan James Keeley. Nicholas James Kelly. Jacqueline Diane Kilgallen. Emily Jean King. Tyler James King. Kevin James Cluse. Trevor Sean Kraus. Danielle Teresa Kunak. Christian John Cutsey. Jessica Christine Lagas. Taylor James Lamb. Crosby Harley Lambert. Kelly Teresa La Regina. Shania Marie Latassa. Jackson Evan Lathrop. Michael Joseph Leary. Charles Patrick Letta. Eileen Leon. Connor James Lewis. Michaela May Lindquist. Elena Frances Lofgren.
Stephanie Nicole Logue. Brian Thomas Lomangino. Raymond William Lubis. Logan McKenzie. William Edward Mangrino III. Caitlin Rose Mahan. Mia Adelina Masonave. Anthony James Mancuso. Dominic Joseph Markle. Michael Anthony Marciante. Johnny Marmol. Joseph Malcolm McCluskey. Liam Michael McGrath. Sean Michael McKenzie. Brianna Lynn McManus. Tessa Nicole Melling. Isabella Santos Mello. Sarah Elizabeth Mendoza. Lucy Maria Milano. Alyssa Marie Mill. Nathan Allen Miller. Rachel Kimberly Morell. Christian Charles Molika. Kyle Michael Monaco. Lucy Ann Moran. Christopher James Muir. Aaron Stephen Mullally. Julianne Marie Murphy. Deanna Lee Murray. Aaliyah Joycelyn Nicholson. Erin Marie Nickerson. Isabella Nunziata. Emily Catherine O'Toole. Okay, sorry. Yep. Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Reed Harrison Ottinger. I forgot about that. Dylan James Ortiz. Matthew James Pilardi. Grant Emery Palmer. Rachel Ann Peneteri. Ashley Taylor Parkinson. Anthony George Pearl Jr. Braden Connor Pete. Elizabeth Ann Perkin. Stephen Lars Porter. Jenna Marie Racca. Zoe Elizabeth Ralston. Liam Michael Radigan. Benjamin Edward Riley. Sydney Lee Ritalik. Thomas Joseph Ruthier. John Charles Reynolds. Fabio Roberto Sacamano. Sophia Elaine Salerno. Mark Vincent Sancioli.
Make sure you pause for the Board of Ed members.
Yep. Christian Nicholas Sorrow. Daniel Joseph Sass. Nathan Thomas Savage. Pamela Catherine Sabara. Kimberly Shauna Spordan. Michael Schiavo. Hannah Kate Shermer. Luis Arston Schloss. Alex Tyson Schreck. Jason Matthew Stretchemeyer. Haley Elizabeth Schumacher. Maya Rose Sokoza. Joseph Charles Segnet. Sophia Elizabeth Salino. Avery Duncan Shane. Michael Richard Short. Amir Silkovic. Aiden James Smith. Andrew David Smith. Blair Lois Schneider. Matthew Rebello Sousa. Mariah Ashley Spinelli. Zachary Spinelli. Joshua Ryan Ziegler Sproul. Thank you. Dylan Gregory Stefanelli. Gabriel Walter Stein. Hannah Mae Sternberg. Nathan Fior Sterry. Harrison Kurt Stoffel. Derek William Summers. Courtney Brooke Sorovi. Jerry Abel Tomei. Frederick Joseph Toro. Julia Diane Tavalila. Kristen Bridget Techlitz. Alexander Joseph Timmons. Jacqueline Rose Tomasetti. Nicholas Francis Townsend. Matthew Joseph Trewartha. Jane Alexandra Ussery. Kyle James Van Flack. Sheila Michelle Vargas. Catherine Vasquez. May Vasquez Perigine. Natalie Caitlin Velez. Sophia Irene Vigliano. Sean Thomas Wall. Jack Roger Ware. Allison Martine Whitmarsh. Matthew Christian Wickstead. Courtney Ava Yerashak. Sydney Olivia Iorio. Luciano Zaccardo. Shaina Iana Zapata. Frederick August Ziering IV. Nicholas Ivan Thomas Zwig. Now let's give the class of 2017 a resounding round of applause for all that they've accomplished. Will the senior members of the choir please take their places for the choral selection led by Mr. Andrew Godwa.
vini we manko, Angono, kilewa we manko, kilewa vini we manko, hey yashande, kilewa vini we manko, hey yashande, kilewa vini we manko.
I would now like to introduce senior class officers Colin Monahan, Angela Height, and Jolie Giacona.
Do we have this? Yeah, right. 4 seemingly short years ago, we all walked into New Fairfield High School not knowing what to expect. The first day as freshmen was filled with silly string, water balloons, intimidating seniors, and a new unknown. On our last day, we finished right where we started. But this time, we were the big scary seniors, armed with silly string, water balloons, and another new unknown as we prepare for our lives beyond high school.
Now it is our time to move on to a new chapter in our lives, but that doesn't mean forgetting our time together. It begs the question, how do you measure our high school years?
New Fairfield High School wasn't just 4 years of class periods, math tests, and lengthy semesters. We remember a plethora of friendships, memories, and accomplishments we've made together from our childhoods all the way to now.
It's really impossible to sum up these years in just a few short minutes, but we're going to try. As seniors, we were talented enough to win a girls' basketball and girls' lacrosse state championship title for the first time in over 20 years, create tons of progressive clubs, such as the Peace Project and the House of Representatives, have one of the rowdiest fan sections in the area, host some of the best DECA events in New Fairfield history, organize the most phenomenal musicals, and lastly, actually have a successful senior prank to finish off a successful year. Class of 2017, you definitely made this high school experience unforgettable and about so much more than just semesters, class periods, and grades.
Congratulations and thank you to Dr. Sanzo for doing a phenomenal job as principal in his first year at New Fairfield High School. You are such an asset to this school, and we know you're going to continue to make the high school a wonderful environment. And of course, we'd also like to give a huge thank you to Mrs. Coelho for mentoring us for those 3 years prior. You led us all on the path of success. And to all the staff members and our wonderful advisors, Mrs. Padavani and Mr. Musso, we couldn't have done it without you. And most importantly, a huge thank you to every one of our fellow students who made every moment together more memorable than the last.
Thank you all so much for electing us to be your class officers for the past years and having us along for the ride. They've truly been nothing but memorable. In order to pay it forward, your officers would like to present the future seniors of New Fairfield High School with the opportunity to be awarded the Class of 2017 scholarship, which has already been completely funded for. We hope that this scholarship will continue our legacy and embody the forthright values of our class. Now, one last thing to do before we close.
We please ask that you all stand up and join us as we move our tassels from the right to the left.
Congratulations, class of 2017. We now graduated.
Do we walk down?
Congratulations once again to the class of 2017. To conclude the ceremony, the graduates will exit in a formal recessional led by Junior Class President Jeremy Perillo and Vice President Haley Nieves. A special thank you to them for supporting our program today. Mr. King will conduct the band as they play the recessional, Test Drive, and Coming Back Around. I ask everyone to please stand and remain in your seats until all the graduates have exited. Thank you. Mr. King.